Welcome back, everyone. Today on our board, we have a collection of materials that, well, I must say, are quite special. We have excerpts from the Dhammapada and a very profound essay on the 4 foundations of mindfulness.
Yes,
These are all ancient Buddhist texts, but our task today is not a religious lecture.
exactly.
Instead, we will look at them as a guide, a toolkit to address a very modern problem. How to find peace in a world that seems increasingly chaotic.
That's right. You can think of these materials as both a diagnosis and a treatment plan for the common condition of being human. They start by pointing out a fundamental flaw in, you could say, the software of our minds.
A flaw in the software, I like that way of putting it. So let's start from there. According to these texts, what exactly is that fundamental flaw?
The ancient scriptures have a very vivid description of the mind. It's not something neat and orderly at all.
Not at all.
Instead, it's described as hard to grasp, elusive. It tends to run far away, lives alone, has no companion, and hides deep in its lair. It sounds like a wild creature, always hiding and impossible to control.
It's a very accurate image, and that's exactly where the problem begins. The text emphasizes that if a person's mind is unsettled and does not know the true Dharma, then wisdom cannot be fulfilled.
In other words, a mind that constantly jumps from the past to the future, from one worry to another desire, can never achieve clarity. Everything becomes unfocused. The anxiety or sense of being overwhelmed that we experience today all stems from this wild nature.
And the irony is that this restless, wild mind
Yes.
is placed inside a body that is the complete opposite, extremely fragile and with a limited lifespan.
The ancient Dharma uses a very powerful image. Know the body as pottery.
That's right, an object that can break at any moment.
And then another reminder, not shying away from it, that before long this body will lie stretched out on the ground, discarded, unconscious.
And that conflict, a mind wanting to run and jump forever in a limited body, is exactly where suffering arises.
The texts clearly identify the 3 fires, or what can also be called the 3 main poisons, that constantly burn us from within. The first fire is craving or desire.
Craving may sound like ordinary material greed.
It's much broader than that. The Dhammapada says, what fire is like the fire of craving? What river is like the river of desire? It's not just the desire for a new car or a bigger house. In the modern world, it's the urge to scroll through social media for just 5 more minutes.
That's right.
It's the craving for recognition through those likes. It's the need to watch the next episode of a series. It's a hunger that is never fully satisfied.
Sounds very familiar. So, what is the second fire?
It's anger, that is resentment and ill will. The verse says, what attachment is like anger? This is the energy of pushing away, of rejection.
Yes.
It can be an explosive outburst of anger, but it can also be a simmering irritation when someone cuts in line, or the annoyance when things don't go your way. It's a kind of shackle that keeps the mind trapped in negativity.
And the last fire is perhaps the most dangerous one.
You could say so because it is the root of the other 2 fires. That is delusion or ignorance.
Delusion.
Right? It's described as a trap. What net is greater than the net of delusion? This isn't a lack of book knowledge, but a fundamental misunderstanding of reality. It's the failure to recognize that everything is impermanent, the inability to see the true nature of our own mind. It is precisely this ignorance that creates the perfect environment for greed and anger to grow.
All right, so the diagnosis is clear. A wild mind, consumed by the 3 fires of greed, hatred, and delusion, trapped in a fragile body. It's rather bleak, isn't it? So, do these texts offer a specific step-by-step treatment plan?
Absolutely. And that's exactly when we talk about the 4 foundations of mindfulness, or satipatthana.
Satipatthana.
That's right. This isn't just some generic advice like think positive. It's a systematic training method, a very clear path of practice. Its goals are also stated very specifically: to purify beings, to overcome sorrow and lamentation, to eliminate suffering and distress, and to realize nirvana.
There's a detail in the text that really caught my attention, and that's the promise of results.
Yes, that's a very remarkable point.
The text says that those who practice this method can achieve realization within 7 years, or 6 years, or even in just 7 days. This seems to emphasize that this is a practical and verifiable technique, not just an abstract belief.
Exactly, it highlights its feasibility. The 4 foundations of mindfulness can be translated as the 4 bases of mindfulness. Basically, it's a process of observing reality divided into 4 main areas. It's like a scientist observing a phenomenon, but here, the object of observation is oneself.
The 4 foundations sounds a bit academic, doesn't it? Can we break them down one by one? What is the first foundation?
The first foundation, and also the most common starting point, is mindfulness of the body, Kayanopasana, which means observing the body.
Mindfulness of the body?
This may sound simple, but it's actually incredibly profound. The practitioner simply pays attention to the in-breath and out-breath and notices the physical sensations in the body while walking, standing, lying down, or sitting.
So this isn't just a physical exercise, it seems like a kind of detox, right? That's right. The intricate and profound process of birth are a truly remarkable event.
Does not actually form a solid self.
All right, that's the body. The second foundation is mindfulness of feelings, observing sensations. What does this mean?
Here, feelings refers to sensations, but at their most basic level. Pleasant, which means happiness, unpleasant, which means suffering, or neutral, which is